Everything you've been avoiding is holding you back from the life you deserve. Think about it. Those tasks you push aside, those fears you ignore, those conversations you dread. They're not just inconveniences. They're the key to unlocking your potential. Avoidance is like a wall between where you are and where you could be. But here's the truth. The harder something is to face, the more it's worth it. Stay tuned because in this video we're tackling the truth about avoidance and showing you how to turn fear into fuel. Avoidance shows up in ways you might not even realize. It's not just procrastinating on tasks or putting off responsibilities. It's skipping that phone call you know you need to make, avoiding eye contact in an uncomfortable situation, or finding excuses to stay in your comfort zone. You tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "It's not that important right now." But deep down, you know that's not true. It's the little things, ignoring that email, dodging an important decision, or even distracting yourself with endless scrolling on your phone. Avoidance can feel harmless in the moment, but it's sneaky. It disguises itself as relief, yet leaves you with guilt, stress, and a growing list of unresolved issues. Sometimes avoidance isn't even obvious. It can look like being too busy with other things or overcomplicating a simple task just to delay taking action. And let's not forget emotional avoidance, pushing down feelings like fear, anger, or sadness because facing them feels too hard. The problem is, avoidance creates a cycle. The more you avoid it, the harder it becomes to face what you're running from. But recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking free. So, why do we avoid things in the first place? The answer lies in how our brains are wired. Our minds are designed to keep us safe. When something feels uncomfortable or uncertain, our brain interprets it as a potential threat, even if it's not. Fear of failure, rejection, or even success can trigger avoidance. It's that little voice that says, "What if I mess up? What if I'm not good enough?" This fear tricks us into thinking avoidance is the safer choice, but it's really just holding us back. Another reason we avoid things is perfectionism. You tell yourself, "If I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all." Or maybe it's self-doubt. You believe you're not capable or deserving of success, so you avoid even trying. Sometimes avoidance comes from past experiences. Maybe you've been criticized before, or you've faced failure that left a scar. Whatever the reason, your brain associates certain situations with pain or discomfort, and you instinctively steer clear of them. And then there's the comfort zone, the ultimate trap. Your comfort zone feels safe, predictable, and easy. But here's the harsh truth. Nothing grows there. Avoidance keeps you stuck in the familiar, while your goals, dreams, and potential are waiting just beyond it. The good news? Once you understand why you're avoiding something, you can start to rewrite the script. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to act despite the fear. And trust me, the payoff is worth it. Avoidance feels harmless at first, right? You skip a task, dodge a conversation, or push a decision to someday. But what if I told you the real cost of avoidance is far greater than you think? Every time you avoid something, you're not just delaying it. You're amplifying the stress and pressure that comes with it. That bill you haven't paid? It grows with late fees. That tough conversation you've been avoiding? It creates tension and misunderstanding in your relationships. Avoidance is like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small but quickly becomes overwhelming. And it's not just external consequences. Avoidance takes a toll on your mental and emotional health. Think about it. When you avoid something, does it really leave your mind? Or does it sit there, quietly nagging you, draining your energy and focus? Over time, avoidance creates guilt and self-doubt. You start to question your abilities, thinking, "Why can't I just handle this?" It erodes your confidence and keeps you stuck in a loop of inaction. But perhaps the biggest cost is opportunity. Every moment spent avoiding something is a missed chance to grow, learn, or achieve something meaningful. The life you want is on the other side of what you're avoiding, and the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to reach it. The things you've been avoiding are not obstacles. They're stepping stones to a better version of you. When you finally face what you've been avoiding, something amazing happens. You realize it's not as scary or difficult as you thought. That sense of dread you've been carrying, it vanishes the moment you take action. And the best part? You grow stronger with every challenge you face. Confronting what you avoid builds confidence. Each time you tackle a fear or handle a difficult situation, you prove to yourself that you're capable. And that confidence, it spills over into every area of your life. Suddenly, those other challenges don't seem so daunting anymore. Facing discomfort also brings clarity and resolution. That problem you've been dodging, it doesn't just disappear, but it shrinks when you address it head-on. But the benefits don't stop there. When you step out of your comfort zone, you open yourself up to growth, new opportunities, and even unexpected rewards. Maybe that conversation you dreaded leads to a stronger relationship. Maybe that risk you were afraid to take ends up launching your career forward. Facing what you've been avoiding isn't easy, but it's worth it. Because on the other side of fear is freedom. And that freedom, it's priceless. Before you can face what you're avoiding, you need to figure out what it is. And sometimes that's not as obvious as it sounds. Start by asking yourself simple but powerful questions. What tasks or situations do I keep pushing aside? Or, what's been on my mind that I keep trying to ignore? These questions help shine a light on the things you've been dodging, whether it's a project, a conversation, or even an emotion. Another way to identify avoidance is to pay attention to your habits. Do you find yourself constantly saying, "I don't have time," when deep down you know you're just avoiding something? Or maybe you're filling your days with busy work to avoid tackling the real priority. Be honest with yourself. What's the thing you think about before you fall asleep? The thing you hope nobody asks you about? That's your clue. Sometimes avoidance hides in your emotions. Do you feel anxious, uneasy, or even irritable when a certain task or thought crosses your mind? That discomfort is a signal. Instead of pushing it away, lean into it. Write down what you're avoiding and why. Seeing it on paper can make it feel less overwhelming and give you clarity about where to start. Remember, you can't fix what you don't acknowledge, and acknowledging it is the first step. Now that you've identified what you're avoiding, how do you actually face it? The key is to start small. You don't have to tackle the whole mountain in one go. Break it down into smaller, manageable steps. For example, if you're avoiding a big project, start by organizing your thoughts or creating a simple to-do list. If it's a difficult conversation, begin by writing down what you want to say. The goal is to make the task feel achievable, not overwhelming. Next, set a specific time to take action. Avoidance thrives in vagueness, so give yourself a clear deadline. Instead of saying, "I'll do it later," decide, "I'll work on this for 10 minutes at 3 p.m. Once you start, you'll often find it's not as bad as you imagined. Momentum builds quickly once you take that first step. Don't forget to reward yourself. Facing discomfort takes effort, and acknowledging your progress, even the small wins, keeps you motivated. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. Facing what you've been avoiding isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's okay if it feels messy or uncomfortable. What matters is that you're showing up and taking action, one step at a time. Because with every step, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than your fears. Facing the things you've been avoiding isn't easy. It's natural to feel resistance. Fear, doubt, and discomfort can creep in, making you question whether it's worth the effort. But here's the truth. These feelings are part of the process. The key is to recognize them, not let them control you. Start by reminding yourself why you're doing this. What's the bigger picture? Focus on the benefits of overcoming this challenge rather than the discomfort of facing it. One common challenge is feeling overwhelmed. When something feels too big, your brain might default to avoidance as a coping mechanism. The solution? Break it down even further. Start with the smallest possible action. Something so simple it feels impossible to fail. For example, instead of saying, "I need to finish this entire project," say, "I'll spend 5 minutes brainstorming ideas." Small actions create momentum. Another challenge is self-doubt. That little voice in your head might say, "What if I fail?" Or, "What if it doesn't work out?" The truth is, failure is a part of growth. Instead of fearing it, reframe it as a learning experience. And if you feel stuck, ask for help. Talk to a friend, mentor, or someone you trust. Facing challenges doesn't mean you have to do it alone. Finally, remember that progress isn't always linear. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. The important thing is to keep moving forward, no matter how small the step. Every time you face discomfort, you're training yourself to handle bigger challenges, and that's how real growth happens. So where can you start applying these ideas in your life? The truth is, avoidance shows up everywhere, and tackling it can create powerful ripple effects. Let's start with your career. Maybe you've been avoiding asking for a raise, pitching a bold idea, or learning a new skill. Facing these fears could lead to career growth, new opportunities, or even a greater sense of fulfillment at work. Ask yourself, what's one small step you can take today towards something you've been avoiding in your professional life? Now think about your relationships. Have you been avoiding an honest conversation with someone important to you? Maybe there's an unresolved conflict or an unspoken feeling that's been creating distance. Facing it could strengthen your connection and create deeper trust. Relationships thrive on communication, and avoiding tough topics only creates barriers. And let's not forget personal growth. Are you avoiding a fear that's been holding you back? Maybe it's public speaking, learning something new, or even prioritizing your health. Taking even one step toward these goals can change your life in ways you never expected. The beauty of facing avoidance is that it creates a ripple effect. When you conquer one area, you gain the confidence to tackle others. Start small, but dream big. Because every step you take brings you closer to the life you truly want. Avoidance is a natural part of being human, but it doesn't have to control your life. The things you've been avoiding aren't roadblocks. They're opportunities in disguise. They hold the keys to your growth, your success, and the fulfillment you've been searching for. Yes, facing discomfort is hard, but staying stuck is harder. Every time you take a step toward what you fear, you're building courage, confidence, and resilience. And that's how real transformation happens. Let's recap. You've learned what avoidance looks like, why we do it, and the hidden costs of letting it control you. You've seen the benefits of stepping out of your comfort zone and facing what you've been running from. And most importantly, you now have practical steps to identify, confront, and overcome avoidance in your own life. Now, it's time for action. Think of one thing, just one, that you've been avoiding. It could be small or big, but make it something you know is holding you back. Write it down right now. Then ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take today to face this? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. You don't have to get it perfect, and you don't have to do it all at once. The goal is to start, no matter how small. Because every step you take is a step closer to the person you're meant to be. The person who embraces challenges, grows through discomfort, and refuses to let fear win. Remember, everything you've been avoiding is exactly what you need. Face it, embrace it, and watch your life transform. You've got this. Now go take that first step.